Bang bang.
Hello.
Welcome everybody to the Bodycast. Yes, this is the greatest show in the history of television. My name is Copacetic, and with me today,
Pathogenic.
it's real. Let's just bring it all together. Television, radio, podcasting. This is the best show.
Yep.
Um,
Best source of media.
Facts. Way back even. Like hieroglyphs, nothing.
Lame.
Stonehenge. No, this is better.
Painting pictures? You know how fucking long that takes?
Picasso, more like Picasso. No, nailed it.
Nice. Well done.
This is, of course, what everyone is calling the best podcast for the international culture of battle rap. You can find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. Not Twitter. X, Instagram,
So
and
fucking
all
stupid.
available podcast platforms in the
That shit
latest
has to
world.
happen after I battle XQZ.
Right?
Like,
Devastating. The name flips alone. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. And, I think that I mentioned this last time, but somebody wrote that's true. They commented, that's true. This is the one and only show that does extensive and in-depth quality coverage of battle rap culture from every corner of the planet, with hosts who are both experienced and highly regarded battlers, very attractive people. I thought that's a nice thing for them to write.
yeah, it was very well received. Great comment. Whoever they are, they know what they're talking about.
Whoever that was.
Yeah.
But there's just a different type of energy with this show. You're here with us. All of Canada is watching, and we're doing obviously a special Canada episode today. So everybody's watching from around the world. There's all sorts of people interested in international battle rap. It's for the connoisseur, for the aficionado.
The more sophisticated ear is trying to listen to international battle rap.
It's true. A lot of people can't. You hear Americans, mostly, sorry, Americans, oh, I can't listen to that battle rap because I don't understand what they're saying. It's English, but it's a weird accent. And it's like, oh, well, you have to be really cognitively.
Upper echelon.
It's the way it
And
is.
thankfully, that's what all of our fans are.
Yeah. Everybody watching right now. So, if you were to take this experience to a whole new level, I mean, you could just watch it, sure, and get the regular experience. But if you wanted the supreme elite experience, man,
You're out here looking for the coolest of peers.
then bang bang, the coolest appear. Join us now. Raise your glass for the community cheers. So close, so close. I got the join us now and the other thing switched around, but I'll get it next time. So close. We've
I think
almost
that's very well could have been the best one yet.
yeah, definitely. Not flawless, but still the best one.
Yeah.
But yes, very refreshing, and I hope everybody's cheersing with us and enjoying a beautiful Sunday.
There goes my internet again.
Really? Shit. Pat's gonna jump in and out. He's a busy guy, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we've got a big show today for sure, and there's a lot to talk about in Canada. So we're definitely going to get into that. I think that there's so much happening right now. It feels like really the battle rap world is just on fire. And when I say world, I mean it seems like everybody is doing something.
Yeah, and the world is also on fire in a lot of places too, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, shouts out to the
lots of
firefighters
wildfires.
for real. But yeah, no, I had this thought last week that I wonder how much, I believe in weird stuff, but like I wonder how much Pat is influencing us and the culture from the other side, because it's just such a huge energy, and everybody felt connected to him. Everybody who fucked with battle rap was connected to him in some way, and now the Stay Forever event was amazing, and it just feels like this is a time that I've never seen it like this before, battle rap, where it's just alive everywhere. You know, I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that.
All right, yeah, it's a thought. That's nice to think about.
It's probably a good thought.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you asked a lot of people, they would say that he has quite a lot to do with it. So
yeah, facts. So we're going to start in the birthplace of hip hop. We are going to start in America before Canada's pants, they call it.
ooh, who's involved with that?
Smart people. I'm going down to Canada's pants for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Can you name all 50 states and state capitals? That's a good challenge.
Of Canada's pants? No.
Of Canada's pants. Can you name 12 provinces? I think that's the real thing. Are there 12? Or are
Somebody
there
tells me
13?
13.
Did we go to 12? Did we go to 13?
Is it not 10 in 3 territories?
Okay. Right. None of it doesn't count as a province.
Neither does the Northwest Territories.
They're having none of it. So great intro. Only 7 minutes long. But America, Canada's pants. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, we've been talking about the big RBE event and all of those announcements. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Goodz versus Calicoe was announced, which is a main event on any other card. Like, that's a fucking main event on a URL card? That's a main event any other time in history.
That's a Summer Madness battle.
Ooh. Oh, is that what it is?
No.
But it would work
but
there.
It could be. That'd be one that if it were on Summer Madness, people would be like, yep, that's what we were expecting.
You wonder how many URL fans are unaware of RBE and what RBE is doing. Because, if it's not on the URL stage, you're not getting that access to promotion, and people, how some people, they just follow one league and that's their entire understanding of battle rap.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I could never.
Yeah, they have it. I mean, a lot of people feel like the URL is the battle rap culture, and then everything outside there is ancillary. Getting very British with it.
Oh, yes.
I don't even know if that's the right word.
I don't even know if it is a word.
There you go. This show's very educational. We learn stuff, you learn stuff, everybody's learning. Yeah, but I mean, enormous announcement. I mean, my God, when's the last time we saw a Goodz battle?
Geechee on the card that Pat and K-Shine battled on. I think. I'm pretty sure that was the last time.
Yeah, hey, it's a shame we can't just check out Verse Tracker and see what's going on. It used to be so fucking handy.
Yeah. Yeah, the app kind of took that away, but is what it is. Unless he had like a 1-rounder somewhere, but I think that would be the last time.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while, but Goodz is here. He's outside, and great match. Obviously, Calicoe, last time we saw him was versus Easy. We said all that questionable shit about free R. Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
And his daughter was really hot or something like that. You were like,
yeah, where he was talking about I would totally date my daughter. Hey, yo.
What?
Yeah, that was some wild stuff.
And like, you don't know if Easy won or not. What a zoo. So hopefully a little bit better this time. I mean, he's like he's fire. Like, he's performing the worst material just really well. Like, it's not the worst material, let's be real, but it was very questionable and alarming. And Calicoe's a fucking force. So I kind of think they're like kind of similar in a way. It's a lot about performance. It's a lot about
the word you're looking for is aura.
Aura. Yeah, thank you.
That would be what they each themselves have their own sort of personality that exudes from themselves.
Right.
And you get that when they're rapping and when they're
Yeah.
standing on stage, and you see it and it adds to what they're doing, right? It's just like with Goodz. What Goodz is saying isn't complex at all. If anyone other than him were saying it, you'd be like, eh. But having him say it is different just because of that kind of idea that he's built around himself of that's my image, basically.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, there's like an intangible feel that brings with him the delivery. That's really important. It goes unnoticed, I think, because you can't quantify it. You can't say, oh, he has this much aura or he has that much, like what Calicoe and Goodz bring to the arena is not, it goes far beyond the words, the lyrics they've written. Calicoe a lot more aggressive, obviously, Goodz maybe less so.
Yeah.
But either way, this is a fucking heavy matchup.
That's one of those, I think that if we were to look at it deeper, when you as a battler truly find the unique style of who you are and what you're wanting to do, that's the point where you find what your aura is. Right? Like if you were to, you can't do what XQZ does. I'm just going to use examples of the last two guys I battled because that's his aura. He has found who he is and what he does, and that's his thing. You can't do that. If I were to say what he says, it's not the same. Ellipsis is the same way. You can't do what Ellipsis does. That's his thing. Yeah. And so if you're emulating people, you might not have that same aura because you're trying to give off an image that isn't what you are, and you don't have that same sort of confidence as, this is me, this is what I do, and that all builds into that kind of image that you're portraying. So
yeah, an alignment between your character, your personality, and the things that you're saying. Definitely, that how well aligned you are is something that you can't quantify, you can't put down on paper, but that everybody in the audience recognizes.
Yeah, and you need to have that that's something that'll take you from here to here. That's one of those things that, and a lot of guys strive for it and may not get there, but
it takes an enormous amount of self-reflection. Being an artist, it sucks. The journey is inward. It's not an amount of things you can do. It's about knowing yourself. It's devastating. It's whack.
You trying to journey into yourself?
Pause. Yo. I remember when I did World Dom for Submission Gun, and I had, it was not my best performance. I think I had some knife bars in there. Was not jibing with the personality. When I did the jokes, I slayed. When I did the knife bars, everybody's going. Charlie Clips came up to me afterwards, and I was like, well, you have advice? And he says, people can tell when you're saying shit that you believe. And I was like, huh, that's good. That's good advice. Charlie Clips is the epitome of that, of embodying who he is on stage.
Yep.
Embodying his lyrics and shit. Yeah. Yep. Super likable, super in tune with himself as a person. Yo, what's up, Dojo? Dojo in the chat.
You're
from UK? All the way from the UK, came to watch the Canadians? Good shit, bro.
UK always keeping an eye on us because we left.
We technically, we're still a little bit on the leash. But shouts out to our UK brethren. And Calicoe versus Goodz. Basically, this seems like the year where RBE is saying, "Hey, are we on the same level as URL? Are we better?"
This is our year. That's kind of how I'm feeling. You got all the momentum.
In direct contrast to the Summer Madness, though, right? Like that's the other thing is that you have this Blue Room event that people are really, really hype on, and a Summer Madness event that there is a lot of criticism, warranted or unwarranted. There's a lot of criticism about this Summer Madness card.
I think that just like as a battler, and other battlers that'll be watching this, maybe they'll think of it the same way. But sometimes all the stars line up where you're in the right space of your life, you're battling this opponent, and there's only that thing that you can say where you're like, this is going to hit because only I can say it, and it's going to be crazy, and the stars have aligned to make it be that way. And that's what's happening right now for RBE in this event. They have so much momentum with the past events that they've had. They've got the blue room, which they went to once. It caught fire. Everybody loves the blue room. It's become its own thing. They're building their own momentum at the exact same time that URL is kind of losing theirs. And of course, you have max out, which you can do at any time because they haven't delegated it to being at this point every single year.
Right.
And so matching it at the same time, right when URL is kind of trending downwards while they're trending up, and putting your two biggest events competing with one another, even if it's not, it's going to be viewed that way by everyone. And I can tell you what, I'm more excited to see what happens at Max Out than I am to see what happens at Summer Madness.
Summer Madness has got two really great, you think, knockout battles that are Summer Madness-esque. And RBE's got 4 battles that are flat out headliners on any other card.
And there's also much more. There's more than just, I want to see if, Twerk does good against Hollow. There's actually some background into it, right? Hitman and Ill Will were supposed to battle previously. People thought that Hitman's performance against Easy wasn't very good. He's never been in a small room before, or at least not in a very long time. So we want to see how all of that translates. We want to see so much more than just Hitman versus Ill Will. Again, all the stars are aligning in that kind of way with Young Ill. We want to see how he comes back. We want to see if Big K actually is one of those welcome back killers. Guys come back and they battle Big K and he's just smoking a lot. If he's going to go on a Champion of the Year run. A-Ward and A-Verb have been going back and forth. We want to see, is Verb actually going to go back to being the old school ways that he was? Is A-Ward just going to smoke him? Are all 3 of the St. Louis sort of godfathers of Battlerap going to form the body of Voltron and annihilate everybody? Like, there's so much more to it.
It's so true.
Than on Summer Madness, where it's just Twerk is really, really good, Hollow's really, really good, and we want to see it happen.
Yeah.
The only one is Payrock and Ab, because we want to know, is there weirdness between them because of the Cave Gang split?
Right.
And then the rest is all kind of just battles to watch, which will be good. That's the other thing. The content will be good. The content is there, but there is so much more to the content that RBE is providing. So
right. Yeah. There's the backstory. It's really important. Is the setting. And, it's weird because URLs, they're not novices. These are the people who probably understand battle rap, promoters that understand battle rap more than anybody else in the world. And had a real monopoly going for a long time. Had a real monopoly. And now I think, it's only healthy. It's only good. But that there's more it's more open now. And ARP, salute to ARP, making it happen, because it looked impossible. And like you said, the stars aligned, and here we are, and it's just so exciting. We get that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and the other thing too is that this could also be a situation where URL is looking at it and going, all right, we'll take the L. Right? We'll take a hit on this one. That's fine. But we're going to plan something in the background in the meantime that's going to sort of shift the weight again. They might be coming up with a plan that obviously nobody knows about, because besides Summer Madness, it's been kind of quiet.
Right.
There used to be events almost every weekend, it felt like, or every other weekend. So maybe there is something that's happening in the background that we don't know, where they have almost, I don't want to say the word conceded the L on this event pairing up, but looking at it and going, all right, you have your time. We're not going to try and compete with that, because we obviously don't have the ability to. But why don't we all regroup and come up with something that's going to shift the culture again and swing it back in our favor?
If anybody can do it, they can do it. The situation, however, is that, Summer Madness is your event. Summer Madness is your haymaker. And so you want to follow that up with something that people aren't expecting. People aren't expecting anything. But now you got to outdo your Summer Madness. And that's a fucking uphill climb as well.
Yeah.
So just really spicy. I imagine there's just a ton of shit happening behind the scenes that, we'll find out as things progress. But just an enormous shift in the power right now in the States. We're seeing between URL, RBE, Easy's League, and now GTX too. The GTX thing.
The Riot, iBattle's almost, they just hit 80,000 subscribers. They've got 2 battles this year that have dropped and have hit 100,000 views already. I mean, you're looking at the formation of another big time professional league. It's unfolding right now.
iBattle's doing a ton of work. iBattle's doing so much work, and like to the point where I've completely lost track of the roster. Who? Like what? And that's such a good thing. People don't know. That's an enormous compliment. You're really developing talent. You're really going through names and finding who can compete, and then creating new cards with those people. And it's like, it's very exciting because like everybody's talented. Everybody can rock. So iBattle, enormous rise right now. The GTX thing is kind of curious because it's West Coast and it's a bunch of guys who were retired, or maybe are coming out of retirement for this event. And I'm seeing most of the promo coming from like Disaster. You wonder, what the storylines are. The storylines are sort of inherent in the matches. There's no real, am I missing it? Or there's no real extra promo I'm not seeing from really anybody on the card.
I don't think that there's, is there any need for promo from anyone else?
The card sells itself, for sure.
That's kind of that's what it seems like to me, is that why put any effort into that when there's no need to?
But that's your job too. Like as a battler, I don't give a fuck what league I'm on, what card I'm on. I'm going to annoy people with memes and tell them about it. Like I'm going to, get out there. And a lot of these guys, are they on social media? Are they even, because that was sort of a different time back then too. Grind time back then, you didn't have this emphasis on promo that you're getting now. Like some of these battlers put so much work into these amazing videos and little clips and, storylines, and building. iBattle again is a great example of that. People who really understand how to tap into the building the hype for inside their culture.
And the way that I would look at it is kind of like what you were just saying, where these are people that don't need to. They're not from the era where they did that. It's not like this event is happening and they've got these battles on here and all of a sudden they're not promoing as a way they used to be. But if you had Caustic versus somebody on King of the Dot, is Caustic going to promo for it? If you had, I see that Unanimous has been promoing, but that's a lot more because it's his first time in the States, right? That's kind of it's an excitement promo more so than a talk down on my opponent and, build hype for the fight. These are guys that don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And if they are going to they might make a tweet, or they might make a post saying, this is why I'm taking it. This is why I'm doing it. But they're not from the era where promo has become as important as it has now. And to be fair, when you're already a name, do you need to promo as much? Do you yourself need to promo as much? That's kind of a way to look at it, right? Does Floyd Mayweather promo for his fights? The company itself promos the fight, but does Floyd Mayweather go out and say, hey, make sure you catch me boxing this person on this day? Or how often does he does he do that?
Right.
He's
Yeah,
sort
I
of
mean,
established his name already. That's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm out to lunch.
I think you're right. I think we'll see, if that's what's necessary, because it's possible that people see the GDX card and be like, yeah, I like that, and then forget about it. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out when the numbers come in, because like obviously battle rap fans see the card and think this is gold. This is 100% gold. I'm definitely gonna see this. We're gonna do a watch here with the boys, and yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because there's two eras basically, and this new era is all about promo. This new era is all on Twitter, all on Instagram, making videos, doing cool shit, and it's super fun. Gas Buff and Roheezy is another one. Everybody's super into it, which is dope.
I made a fantastic "Come On Eileen" promo video that was hilarious.
This is what you pay for. When you book Path, this is what you get. You get the battle, you get the promo, you get the after, everything. It's a full package.
Sometimes you get the promo. Sometimes.
It's always top tier. Let us move now, because America, you're great and all, but this is a special Canadian show. We don't want to take.
We're not talking about pants this episode,
right? Today it's all about the hat, which can be taken so many different ways. Terrible. But yeah, we're going to talk about Canadians because we got half the show left. We're going to do stuff about Canada because Canada's amazing. I mean, more leagues now than ever before in Canadian history. More events. We just had an event last night in Winnipeg.
Yep.
And shouts out to those boys out there. No Excuses Winnipeg.
Pretty sure it's 2 days. I don't know if the second day is today or if it was Friday, but I think I'm pretty sure its second day is today. That's for it's a card for Trinity, big time battle rap supporter from Winnipeg who lost his life in a tragic car accident. So salute to them out there.
Right. Yeah. Salute for real. Doing it up in Winnipeg. That's, amazing moves. It's a really great card. I hope it goes down really well. Shouts out to all those guys.
I saw a live stream of MC Rush versus Xavier, which was the main event battle for day one, and it was a good battle.
Sick. So, really good for Winnipeg. It's just booming right now, and it just feels like a resurgence. It feels like never before. So we're gonna start. I don't know if he's frozen or if he's.
No, I'm back now. I'm back now.
Sometimes this is like. But yeah, no, Canada's great.
LOL, Canadians.
BattleBot, what? You don't like Canadians?
I don't respect them.
Yeah, the ultimate hater, BattleBot. You realize that you're Canadian, right? I mean, you're built by Canadians in Canada. Does that not make you Canadian?
I am quite obviously Japanese.
私は日本人です。
All right. I guess you can identify as whatever you want. What's your beef with Canadians? Why do you not like Canadians?
They try too hard to be American.
I think that's fair criticism. Probably a lot of Canadians trying to be.
Nobody wants to be the pants, man.
Personally, obviously, trying to be Shovel T. But I think, that doesn't mean that we
can't. All of you are overrated.
Well, it's our show, so we get to. Wouldn't you rather be overrated? What's overrated mean? It means a lot of people think you're too good, or too many people think you're better than you are. That sounds like a great compliment, Mike.
No, I think that you're proving his point in a weird way.
I think you're a little hater there, BattleBot. I think you're just got your hater drive in is overheated.
Is that a piece of your computer?
It's computers. Why don't you be constructive and give us a list of the battle rappers who are underrated in Canada? Can you do that for us?
Working.
That's pretty good. That was really fast. Did you have that just set up? Can we see that again? Let's just see that. Oh man, see if I can get this here. Can't bring that back up.
Oh.
Did you see that top 10 list?
No.
Okay, here we go. Oh man. That's a good list. Can we see that? Are we getting that there?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Damn, this is a pretty good list, BattleBot.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, how did you put this together?
I feel that franchise isn't underrated. I feel
You know
he's
what? It's a good discussion to have because I think franchise is probably the best in the country, right? He's up there.
I would say that he's up there. Yeah. I mean, this kind of boils down to the idea of what do you view underrated as?
So I guess that how I would do it personally is it's the disparity between how much quality work somebody's doing and the recognition they're getting for it.
Okay.
So franchise is a good shout, to be honest. I don't know about the rest of the list, but the franchise is like somebody who's been working really hard for Canada. He's battled in the States, battled on big cards, on big leagues in the States, URL, the Riot. You know, he always shows out. I've seen him live. It's electric. You know, and he doesn't really get talked about very much. So I think I could buy that. You know, I think he's the best in the country and probably better than the way that he is being talked about. I think that, yeah.
I understand now. I understand the way that you're looking at it. It's kind of the idea of, let's say, if there was an actual top 5 of the best in Canada, if he was number 2 on the list, he could still be the most underrated because people would be putting him in the number 2 spot when the amount of work he's putting in should be in the number 1.
Exactly.
In my brain, it's the guys that nobody knows about. Like, underrated to me is like that nobody knows about that should be known about more so.
Right.
Which I understand that the way you're looking at it is a lot better. So I can see why and agree that franchise should be number 1 on this list because I do agree with you. I think that he should be number 1 when it comes to the best battlers in Canada.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. I think the rest is sort of subjective, but I don't disagree with a lot of these picks. I mean, you know, Uncle Buzz is really dope. He's been dope for a while now, putting in a lot of work on beast mode, and I saw him out here recently on a Set the Bar card, and he was cooking like all 3 rounds. He had great material, and he was, you know, really pushing the crowd. And he's not on this upcoming beast mode card. You know, that's a good one. I think Johnny Knox is a good one as well. Johnny Knox just comes and fucking raps, you know, and you know where's his looks? He's traveling. He's traveling a lot. He's going to different places.
Yeah.
What did he headline? The other card in the
he was I believe him versus Final Word was the co-main on CRB. Yeah.
Yeah, Jo. I mean, for years I've been saying Jo is underrated. I feel like he's very fun, humor, bars, rapping, and is he on the? He's not on the KOTD card coming up either, is he?
No.
So it's an interesting list, and it's an interesting conversation. I think probably it's so open to interpretation that this, you know, maybe 4 through 10, 5 through 10 is sort of like, it's not really in line with who's better than who. You know, it's not like a ranking like this person's definitely better than this person. It's really interpretive, especially when you think about underrated.
I think the title is one that could be shifted. I think when you say top 10, naturally people's brains go, okay, well, number one is better than number two, number
Yeah.
three better than number
Yes.
four. I think that this, as a title, would, if my opinion, because BattleBot, not
He's an
exactly
idiot.
my favorite. It should just be 10 most underrated battlers in Canada, not numbered in with any order involved at all. It could just literally say you take all the numbers away from these guys, because the point is that we're making isn't that these guys are more underrated than others. The point that it seems to be making is that these are guys that deserve more credit for the work that they're doing, and however much more you want to equate them to is up to you as an individual.
Yeah, totally agree. You nailed it. Actually, that's much better than what the BattleBot was saying. So, yeah, I mean, a good list. Definitely check out all these battlers if you don't know them. Trevi's got a battle versus Jo on Bars of Death coming up. Mike Wilds is really killing it in Vancouver. Bunch
Just
of great
battled So
battles.
Severe. Sully just battled Patron.
Electric.
Um,
Yeah, and yeah, just a bunch of good shouts. Actually, I would think like probably I don't know if Kamikaze would be on my list personally, but Kamikaze's headlining events too. He's getting good looks. So I don't know if that means he's underrated. I think he's doing really well. Maybe he previously was underrated. Um, I don't know who else would be on my list. Maybe Whoop or I don't know. Whoop didn't really battle much this year, but
it's tough to say. I mean, I'd have to actually go through and look at it. I mean, I think an argument could even be made for the new CRB champ with MBS.
MBS, hard to put a champ on that list,
It's
but
hard to put a champ on that list, but that it comes from the idea that maybe the CRB championship itself is underrated, and the difficulty it takes to be able to win that.
That's a good
And
point.
in that situation, and maybe the run that MBS has been on lately as well.
Oh man! Speaking of which, let's just slide into that. Did you see NBS versus Made Weight?
Yes.
Oh man, that went that
Yes.
was that went left. That was one sided.
Yep, that one went super left. I want to shout out to pre and especially prehistoric, because I can only imagine what that takes, the self-control that it takes to be able to calm that down, and to actively say, this is a battle, you can say whatever you want to. It doesn't mean that he's condoning it or say that he's liking it. He's respecting the art form enough to say you're allowed to say that.
Right.
That doesn't mean that it's okay, but
Right.
let him get through it. Just is
For context. For context, this event was a. I don't know if this event was a memorial event or
It wasn't
not
designated as a memorial event, no, but it
Right.
was one of the first CRB events since Corm's passing. I do believe. I'm not 100% sure, or it would be. It's not too far off from that.
It's around there. And so for people who don't know, Made Wade battled NBS, who's the new champ, and he said some stuff in his third about a battler who had recently passed, Corms, and it's like, yeah, how do you, shouts out to Pre, how do you keep people from just exploding into fighting? And
Yeah.
like, it feels like the energy could have almost gone there.
It really did. It felt like that. And the crazy thing about it being that, he had a big impact on a lot of the CRB battlers and the roster there. And so for MBS, because that was at the top of the third, MBS still had to wrap his third round. And so for him to be able to contain himself and still be able to perform, for Pre to be able to keep a wraps on everything and allow the battle to still happen and finish, it takes a lot of self-control, and a very, very well done job by them.
Yeah. Yeah, great
And a
work.
very, very poor job by Maidwade.
Wait, I don't think we're gonna see him again. I don't know.
Can't fathom that.
Crazy redemption arc if he is somehow able to come back from this. Enormous redemption arc.
I couldn't even. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very weird thing to, and it wasn't. We're not talking about he said one line in his third that people were like, "No, that's not cool." He had multiple sections of material about it. You don't write that and memorize it and rehearse it without going, It doesn't really matter what happened in your relationship, your personal relationship with said person. That is not the place, the time to be able to air that out.
It's bizarre. The thought process.
Yeah.
But let that not take away from a great ass whooping. We'll say it straight up.
MBS fucking smoked him. Great. That was body of the week on the Bodycast.
Facts, body of the week. Ooh, should make a graphic for that. Yeah, great job, MBS. MBS Nobody Special. If you, his name stands for Nobody Special. Really dope, and I love that his name sort of like is like one of those trap names, you know, where you get your opponent to like go in on it, and they realize that they fucking have wasted a whole round talking about your name that nobody cares about, and you know, Maidwade sort of walked into that one too. But MBS is one of those guys, you know, up and comers, CRB. And you've been hearing about him for a while, and he's just understands it. He understands what he needs to do, to punch, to joke, to perform. He's really good at all those things, and sky's the limit for this kid. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's got the belt now. I think this is one of those things where he figured out, like what I was talking about. He kind of figured out himself and what he wants to say, and now he's leaning into it. And you will always find success when you figure out what you're wanting to say and you lean into it.
Yeah. And possibly, I don't know, you know, if this stirs the drink, but the best CRB champ right now, like the best, this is the most, you know, capable, dangerous champ that CRB has had.
Since Poe Rich? Or would you even include him in with Poe Rich?
Poe Rich is really good. I take that back. But yeah, since
Poe gave up the belt, there is an argument to be made, though, that MBS could be the most dangerous champ that they've had.
Retain, because that's the real challenge. We were talking about that last time. Is you know, being a champ, it's so much easier to get up for a challenger shot at the title. But it's quite another thing to continue to defend. And that's why you don't see it in all of these titles. You don't see long defenses. And when you do, it's because they're extremely special humans like Pat Stay or Disaster or Real Deal. I didn't even know if Disaster had a long reign.
I can't remember.
You know, either way, the point is made. CRB had a few other drops, had a bunch of other drops, actually. Rusty versus Samson, Owens Beard versus Genocide, and Donovan versus King D. Donovan, previously Chubalicious, which I learned, which is great.
Yes.
Did you see any of those battles?
I saw Genocide and Owens Beard, and I saw the first little bit of Donovan and King D. First half, I guess, because I think it was a one-round battle. So I think I saw King D's round.
But if you've seen CRB's YouTube channel, they got a ton of uploads, just waiting to drop from these last couple of events. And it feels like they're really on a roll now too. Like they understand their rhythm, their community, their roster. It's like, you know, whatever CRB was 2 years ago, it's a fucking different beast now.
Yep. We talk about the Canadian scene as a whole rebirthing since COVID, but you can even subdivide that down into the leagues themselves, right? You can say that Beast Mode has been reinvigorated since coming back from COVID, with the staff changes and the venue changes and everything that they're now doing in comparison to what it was like before, like pre-COVID, along with CRB even set the bar. Didn't really get a huge start before COVID happened, but you can see how Winter Warfare and Fully Loaded and Heat Wave have sort of elevated them into that next stop. Even Bars of Death now recently being one of the newer leagues, and I think that Freezer Burn Battles just had their second card drop. So it seems like everyone's sort of
That's a good
elevated.
card. Yeah, everyone's pulling their weight. Bars of Death shit is amazing. Super hype on that. CJA versus Final Word, Trevi versus JO, amazing shit. Okay, so that's the East Coast. We're going east to west. Did it backwards. Fuck that. But then, let's talk about it. Oh man, I want to make sure we have time to cover the West Coast stuff. But King of the Dot, the breakthrough event, which is, it feels like this is a beast mode card in collaboration with King of the Dot. Like it definitely feels like an elevated beast mode card, but it doesn't. I'm just speaking facts. It doesn't feel like a KOTD card. It's not long, avocado fucking trailer, Blackout-esque.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
it's
like somewhere in the middle.
it's exactly what you would expect a collaboration event to be, right? It's the same as when CRB collabed with King of the Dot and they did Porridge and Real Deal. It's very similar to that sort of idea, right? You have the sort of upper echelon battles that will most likely be dropping on King of the Dot, but it's kind of, you have these beast mode guys and you have these sort of King of the Dot guys that you're having battle, and that's where the collaboration sort of comes from. Also, I hope that there was no slight taken to Sean for his trailer editing, because the trailer that he dropped for Breakthrough 2 was absolutely insane, and he is going to do so much fantastic artistic direction when it comes to this, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely no shade to Sean Sirianni, who's just a cornerstone of Canadian battle rap when you think about all the work that he's put in and the quality of work that he's put in. Definitely. Just a tremendous card for Canadian talent. I think that's like more to what you were saying as well.
Yeah.
Is that, these are some of the best guys in the country, and this is the platform. Grid versus Coffee headlining. Grid's super dope. I'm a big fan of his. We were going to have Joey on here. I sent him the link. I don't know where he is. Maybe he thought it was 3 p.m. PST. I don't know. Maybe he's confused. But Joey's great too. He's having a hell of a year. Joey versus, what was it? Poe Rich at the Stay Forever event. And then versus Lipsis, or was it the other way around? Lipsis and then Poe Rich. Either way,
Lipsis and then
battles. Yeah, right. It was February.
Yeah,
or January.
Winter Warfare was in January. Poe Rich was in February.
Okay, so he's had a good start to the year. Definitely want to see him solidify that with another strong performance versus a big name from the States in Emerson Kennedy. Just a huge potential for that matchup.
Yep.
And for Joey too, when you're thinking about what a top 10 looks like in Canada, last year was not on the radar. I think he had maybe a couple battles and one of them fell through. And so he just wasn't really able to dig his heels in. But this year, you start so strong, had some amazing battles, like really good quality, high quality battles. And now another big look versus EK from the States, which has all the potential in the world to be battle of the night. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that one for sure.
Yeah, super exciting. Pepe and Prez Mafia, the first time that Prez is going to be up in Canada, if I do recall.
Totally, it's Prez Mafia's KOTD debut,
which is going to be insane. He's one of those guys that's kind of in the battle rap folklore of who came up with the style first. Everyone says that Twerk got his style from Prez, and that Lou Castro got his style from Prez also. He's kind of the one that people are like, oh, that's just Press Mafia, but with your own flair on it type deal. So he's kind of cemented himself in the battle rap folklore, and he's very talented when
Yeah.
he remembers his material and shows up. So
Yeah, it's great to see him back. I know there was definitely there was a period where he was away, a long period where he was away,
Yeah.
and for whatever reasons. But yeah, back now, and yeah, you hope that he's got fucking 3 rounds for Pep, because Pep is not gonna sleep on him at all. Pep
not
is
even close.
100% prepared for this match.
Yeah.
And then Pex versus Path. This is my personal battle of the night. I love this battle. I like both these guys. You know, they're not the most handsome guys. They're not the smartest guys, but just tons of character, tons of charisma.
Yeah. Is that BattleBot? That sounds like something BattleBot would say. Have you been BattleBot this whole fucking time?
I did create it, so you know. But yeah, no, like let's be real. Apex is one of my favorites. He could have easily been on that underrated list if he wasn't, you know, getting this big match and this big KOTD card, because he's just been, you know, somebody who punches and performs and does all the things that I like personally. I feel like there's a lot of, you know, that alignment we were talking about between his character and the things that he says, and like a bully. Like, he's a big guy. He can bully people. He can push people around, and it's a strength. And I really like that. I really think that he's probably, if I'm being completely honest, this is a good challenge for him, because if you're looking at your last performance versus Ellipsis, that's a mixed bag of, not a mixed bag, that's the wrong thing. It's a goodie bag of a lot of very dangerous skills and abilities. But you're all right, I guess. You know, like,
don't try and push me, Apex. You're a bully. Don't try and do that.
It's gonna
I'm the
be
guy that got hit by a train, and you'll be remembered forever as the guy that pushed that guy who got hit by a train.
I'm really.
It's like pushing Tiny Tim down.
Man, right? You're gonna push the guy who lost to Ellipsis and Visual, and that's not my joke. That's a BattleBot joke. So, yeah, no, I think a really exciting match. I really hope that he's up to the challenge and pushes himself, because it's not, you know, just a regular match. This is something really special that's going to have a lot of eyes on it, especially because your battle, obviously, with Ellipsis, but also you were on the Stay Forever card. So in Canada, it resonates. It's an important battle. And so, yeah, I hope
I think it does a lot. It does a lot for both of us, considering, again, kind of like that stars are aligning type situation where the first one since Stay Forever, where I've kind of, in air quotations, made a name for myself, and Apex, like you said, could be on that underrated list where he hasn't necessarily made that name for himself, and now he gets that opportunity at the same time that I'm coming up to also be like, well, look what I can do too.
2 champs, even. You know, I mean, there are only so many champs in Canada.
One champ.
Former champs. A former champ and a champ. You can't unchamp yourself. You were a champion.
I wish I could.
You beat a champion for a championship, there, for a title. So that, you know, that counts. Whatever. Anyways. Fine, it doesn't count. But yeah, I really like these guys. And then the rest of the card is, I mean, obviously we talked about Riz Relit versus Shoddy P, really super dope. I really like Gripslope versus KP. I'm really excited to see Kid Platinum back and see what he does. I don't know, but I think the last battle I watched was him versus Johnny, where Johnny fucking smoked him.
KP battled Big Dubs on Beast Mode and had a much better, classic KP performance. Not like
because he is talented. He's not
very talented. Very talented.
Good.
I wish that he had that kind of performance against Johnny, because Johnny had a really great performance against him too. It would have been a classic battle.
Totally would have been a classic, guaranteed.
And I think Scott Free and Dysfunctional as well. That's exciting. Scott Free will be back since battling Johnny, I guess. on beast mode.
And the underdog.
Yeah.
So
a position he probably hasn't found himself in for Battlerap for a while.
Yeah. There's one of those comeback things. So we'll see also how Dis handles that, because when you're the favorite going in, it does change the dynamic. It does change your mentality of how you prepare, and that's really important, especially right now for Dis in his career, where he's going and building a lot of momentum, having a much better year than last year. This is an important battle for him to fucking really cement and show everybody that this is what he's capable of, what his ceiling is. So that's a good one. Final Word versus Skrillacam, super dope.
Yep. Shout out to Skrilla coming back.
Dying out here. Hey, Skrillacam, super fun. I love Skrilla. I think he was one of my favorite Beast Mode champs, if not my favorite Beast Mode champ ever.
Yeah.
And just so much fun to watch, and just like, good raps, out of left field shit, good bars,
great jokes,
super entertaining.
Good mix of everything.
Yeah, facts.
Really Nation
reminds me of Sketch Menace a little bit, honestly, and just sort of the clowning.
Skrilla versus Sketch would have been a great battle. Still could be.
Could be. Then you got Tin Man, which is great. Tin Man versus Cal Jackson.
And A1 versus Day.
And A1 versus Day.
Huge step up for Day.
But deserves it, because he's been working really hard too.
Yep.
Good for A1 to
Very
give him a look like that. Is really nice. Like, this is a good day of battles. You're going to see some fucking good shit.
Yep.
Very strong card. Love that. Tune in next week. Is it next week?
Yep.
God damn, next week, man. Whew. Spicy. That's a spicy meatball. So everybody, buy the pay-per-view. I don't know how we're going to do this. Is that what it is?
No clue. I'm not sure, because of it being the collaboration with King of the Dot, how it's going to be displayed.
Maybe it'll be on Twitch.
Maybe. Or it'll be on the Beast Mode Patreon. But regardless, if you are not signed up to the Beast Mode Patreon, that's a good shout, because there is a ton of content on there. And Sean is a madman, and he's got, for most of the events, I don't know if this one's different, but he usually has them up within a day or two of the event, the entire card of battles. So definitely
legend.
Definitely a good idea to sign up for that if you haven't.
The end of the ledge for that guy. Let's keep moving. So, okay, Bring the Thunder happened. We talked about that. Winnipeg. We'll update you on what goes on a 2-day card, what's happening there. But I definitely want to just run through Alberta and British Columbia real quick before we sign off. Freezer Burnt Battles is the Alberta League, and they've been slowly building momentum, and it feels like dropping some good quality drops. I watched Jebediah versus Benny, and these guys are good. Benny's Winnipeg, though, isn't he?
Yep, Benny's Winnipeg. Very talented. I feel like he gets a little bit more polished and figures things out. He's going to be very strong. Can you hear me?
What'd you say? You said you feel like and then we cut out.
He just needs to be a little, like, once he gets a little bit more experienced, a little more polished, he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, both of them had the stumbles and the chokes. It's not.
Yeah, Jeb will always be consistency for me. There's two things that I tell Jeb all the time. It's A, you need to be more consistent, and B, you need to write more material. Jeb's the only guy that I know that if you were to tell him, all right, they're 2-minute rounds, he'll be like, I got a minute 45.
I'm the same way.
Like
2 minutes is hard to get to, yo.
For me, it's like you got 2-minute rounds, and I'm like, all right, I'm at 3:30 when I perform them. I better find a way to cut it back.
That's good shit. Yeah, I
But
love Jeb, and I've been a fan of his for a while, but it's got to be a clean performance. We got to
yeah,
see something.
his first round. If you watch the first round of Benny versus Jeb, it's it shows you exactly the kind of untapped potential that they have themselves haven't tapped into just yet.
Yeah, very
They're
cool.
they're both going to be fantastic.
And Spud versus Cropphopper, I watched that as well. So now I've seen Spud work, and reminds me of Joey Gambello, to be honest.
Welcome
He's
back,
got
Spud.
tons of energy. He's barring. He knows how to engage the crowd and to bring them places. And then, yeah, I think that's dope, and just a huge boon for Alberta Battlerap. Really, really tight. In fact, they dropped their most recent card. They dropped the announcement for the most recent card. I got roasting season here. Where is this?
Wild game.
Wild game. Where you're going to see Johnny Knox versus Spud. So these are two of the best guys in Alberta right now. And this is 3 rounds with plenty of time to prep. September. We got lots of time. So
here's a little bit of insight, because Johnny and I went to the first Freezer Burnt event, and we were just there as watchers.
right.
And when Spud battled Cropphopper, Johnny immediately said, Polly, I'll battle Spud.
Facts.
Polly had been saying, we can get you a battle, we'll do a battle. And Johnny was like, nah, there's no one really that interests me in battling. But the second that Spud battled Cropphopper, he was like, match me up with Spud. I'll do it.
That's all you need.
Yep.
Just brick by brick.
Mhm.
So that's an ARP. It's really special, because you're looking at Alberta and you're like, man, you guys got to scrape your shit together and figure out if you can fucking have an operating league. And then here it is. It's coming together. Shouts out to Polly and everybody who's working hard behind the scenes to make that happen, because I'm like legit impressed with this wild game card. Billy Shakes versus Trippy Hippie, which is dope. And, I don't know how much we can get into it, but Shakes is fucking really establishing himself as a journeyman in the West Coast Canada, because he's all over the place, every league, and he's showing up. He just battled fucking who? He just battled
Coleslaw.
Coleslaw, right? Thank you. And then somebody else before that in the last Kami, right? You're killing it. Trippy Hippies battle just dropped versus Aaron. Really strong performance from him. Just the worst name, Trippy Hippie. I'm sorry, bro. I fucking don't like that. It's just what, and it's like wrong on flyers and stuff like it, because it's IE and the IE. It's great. I love it. It's a long and confusing name for graphic designers. So shouts to him for that. But really strong performance versus Aaron. And he did something that a lot of people don't really understand, which I think is really important. Is he did this an angle about something that Aaron said, and he turned it into a thing. He turned it into a moment where you've got the audience sort of rolling on this theme, this punchline, and you can come back to it and call back to it. And he did that really well.
Yeah,
and it was very entertaining.
Might have been his first traveled battle also, which I think is a little additional star on that one, because it's tough to rock an away crowd, right? Somewhere that you're not usually battling.
ALA yelling in your ear. Oh my god. Poor guy.
You grabbing ALA and talking to him saved him from me snapping in the crowd.
There were a number of people feeling the same way as you. There's a time and a place. So great battle. Definitely check that out. That's set the bar. And then the rest of this wild game card, is Censored versus Cropphopper. Great match. Shouts out to those guys. Jeb versus Kaiser. Great. If we can get 3 rounds from Jeb, Kaiser's, fantastic, great writer, really fun, good guy.
Very
tall. He's an athlete. His family is Olympians, so he's got it in his blood. And I always say that. And then Benny versus Poly Free, which is dope. You know, if we get the rapping Poly Free that we saw versus
Aaron.
Thank you. I just watched that, and I was there live. And the 3 clean rounds from the Benny that we saw versus Jebediah, then this is, you know, some really strong battles on here, and then some
more Winnipeg guys coming over.
That's cool. Yeah. Hey,
Tech Pro, Capgun Dave coming back.
Right, Capgun Dave versus Craig O'Grady, obviously.
No Coast Hall of Fame.
Fans are saying, give copacetic Craig. You're driving me crazy. He says, I will give you Craig. Goes O'Grady. Hey. So great card from them, and really excited to see what else they do going forward, because it looks like, you know, they're really developing their talent core right now. Spicy. Shouts out to Koichi in the chat. My guy. Good guy. And the Plug too. What?
Plug TV.
Taking care of business. Plug
That's
TV,
good,
check them out. You know, talking about international battle rap, Plug TV, all over that shit. Very international friendly, and they got a bunch of great content there, so definitely check them out. And then we're over time now. It's just terrible, but can't go on without saying Set the Bar Entertainment dropped Roasting Season 5, which is a previously smoked out event. I just realized. But fuck it, we're taking it. Loves the roasting season. Love to be roasted, love to roast. Tis the season.
Tis the season for roast.
And you know, Mike did a weird thing here that I chastised him about. Is he made a main event of 2 people who were not local. It's the main event for this BC card is Alberta versus Ontario. But I can't hate, because Billy Shakes versus Bossman is going to be just so much fun.
Billy Shakes versus Bossman is the epitome of roasting season.
True.
So I think that it fits the thematic thing we're going for.
100% agree. You know, this is a development card for Set the Bar, so we're just going to go and have fun. There's not a whole lot of expectations. You know, Dan's Mad Again versus Lil Q is a rematch from a battle that didn't happen ideally in the previous circumstances, being what they are. So people are excited to see that. I think that there's a bunch of tryouts and new faces, which is really cool for BC, really important for us and our growth. But one that I have my eye on, and hopefully it turns out as well as it can, Rocky Nelson versus JB Styles. Ooh.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. JB Styles really stepped up in his last battle versus Mongers, which is out on YouTube now. You can check it out, Set the Bar, YouTube. And JB's just, you know, been talking to him. He's sober now, and he's really focused. He's really honed in. Way better. His energy's better. His writing's better. You know, he had that battle versus Whoomp where Whoomp sort of did the big energy thing, and I think he picked up a little bit of that. So really strong. And then Rocky is very well rounded as well. Really great performer. So this battle has a ton of potential in my eyes. And the Snaggletooth Bandit. Enormous win. Which should be dropping soon, actually. Yeah. The Snaggletooth Bandit, his battle is going to drop soon. You're going to be very impressed.
Will I?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just a Snaggletooth Bandit. Either he's a bandit that has a Snaggletooth, or he steals Snaggle teeth. Let's sit there.
He's gonna act like I'm frozen.
You got me, you fucker. Okay, we did it. Oh man, I feel like Terry Fox, just fucking all the way across Canada, and we did it. And yeah, just amazing things happening in all the leagues across Canada. Definitely keep an eye out for all of those bars and those battles and those leagues. Set the Bar, Freezer Burnt, No Excuses Winnipeg, Beast Mode, Capital Rap Battles, and Bars of Death. Ooh. We don't really cover DMS. They're doing French stuff.
Yeah. Not 100% sure.
We're watching. Oh shit. Kevin Poulin. Is it Poulin or Poulin?
It's Poulin.
I'm French. I should know. Poulin. Kevin Poulin.
Where would I put him on the list? I put Ellipsis at number 1 for battlers that I've gone up against that have the best freestyle ability, because Ellipsis had great freestyles against me. I think Apex had one really good freestyle rebuttal against Xavier, and I'm not even sure if how much of a freestyle that was, or if it was one that he had written in the tuck that just worked out perfectly in that moment. So I think that he has the ability to freestyle, and he's a very talented battle rapper, and so his freestyles will come out. Turns out it was pre-written. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I put Ellipsis at the number 1 on the list of guys that I've battled that have good freestyle ability.
I also put Ellipsis at number 1. What an exciting weekend coming up. So, next weekend, probably going to do something, give Path a break. You're going to be in Toronto still?
I'll probably be flying home at the time of the podcast.
Okay.
I'll be on.
So we'll do something else next week. But man, just there's so much happening. So definitely check out all of those guys. Check out their leagues. Follow them all on social media. Next weekend is Breakthrough 2 and Battle of the Bay X. So we'll be watching those. We got Canadians on those cards as well. Lopeshi, Ellipsis, Coleslaw. It's just a beautiful time right now. And we're covering it all here. So definitely check back in with us next week. That's all for this week. Remember to follow us on X. Follow us on X. Thanks, Elon. Instagram, YouTube, and click the like and subscribe button everywhere. And let us know what you like about the show, what you dislike. It's good for us to know. When you click the buttons and type the things, it helps give us feedback so we can make the show better for you. So,
yep. Constructive criticism.
Facts. Too handsome. I get that a lot. I'll try and tone it down. It's tough, but yeah. Shouts to everybody watching at home, and Path, why don't you take us out?
Somehow.